Sounds familiar, if you ask me. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Haven't seen everyone in a while, but definitely had to stop by and share my thoughts on the Superman trailer that dropped yesterday at the time of making this video. But before we get into that, just want to give a shout out to everyone who still supports my channel, even though I don't upload as regularly anymore. But I do still appreciate the support. You guys know I'm always staying in the loop with things that are going on. So I'm still on Twitter and, of course, paying attention to all the stuff that is coming out about movies and, the stuff that I discuss on the channel. So watched Thunderbolts recently and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So that was a fun movie to watch in theaters, just to put that out there and, share my quick experience watching that movie since that one was recent. As I mentioned, the Superman official, full longer length trailer came out yesterday. Of course, we've had teasers before in the past and, some little ads and TV spots and things like that here and there. But full-length trailer yesterday that is causing a lot of discussion, and I did watch it yesterday. I did not film a reaction when I watched it. I like to do on the channels when I do if I'm able to do a trailer reaction for a specific trailer, I liked it to be the first time watching it and not like, oh, I already watched it, let's watch it again. Sometimes I do that. I have done it a few times depending on, what trailer it is and if it is one that I want to do like a second time watching reaction. But I really try my best to do like it's my first time watching it. That way it's a more genuine reaction. So since I wasn't able to film a reaction for it yesterday, I do want to still stop by and share my thoughts on it because obviously it's a big topic of discussion. And I gotta say, I think it maybe is an improvement from the first teaser that we got before. Obviously it's longer, there's more going on. It's getting closer to the movie releasing, so they're probably going to start pushing marketing more, more trailers, more TV spots, more little teasers, stuff like that. They're going to start ramping up, I expect, for, promotions and marketing. So I do think it was an improvement, in my opinion, from the teaser that we got before. And more in the recent weeks, we've had some images and pictures coming out from the film as well. I just... There's so much being said about this trailer right now, which is not surprising, but we got a little bit of everything. We got some action. We got some opening dialogue from Superman and Lois, or Clark and Lois, and we got some Lex Luthor, which we didn't really see much of. I think this is the most we've seen of him, if I'm not mistaken, as far as trailers, teasers. This is the most we've seen of him, but not really much dialogue, if I remember. I think we've just gotten some, glimpses of him as a character in the trailer, and more of, Krypto and the other hero characters as well, villain characters. One that we didn't see in the first teaser, which was this character in a metal suit, fighting with Superman in the air. I'm not really entirely sure who that is. There's been, I think, some different speculation maybe about who that could be, but I don't remember seeing that character before. Of course, we see more. We saw a shot with Green Lantern and Hawk Girl, and so some of the other hero characters that we're going to see. Mr. Terrific, another look at the robots in the Fortress of Solitude that we saw in that clip that came out not too long ago. A little bit of everything, pretty much. Ultraman, Superman getting arrested. This whole political thing about the world reacting to Superman. Sounds familiar, if you ask me. I think that's one of the main topics of discussion that I see coming from this trailer, is that there are several themes from what we can see in this trailer anyway, that were presented as pretty much the main story of BVS, Batman vs. Superman. And it was around, even the opening dialogue with Lois and Clark, where she's interviewing him as Superman, him deciding, he says, I ended a war, and he's, in this other country. He starts getting really, upset about it, frustrated about it, saying that people were going to die and all of this stuff, because Lois is kind of giving him some pushback, and there's a lot of things being said about that scene as well, him yelling at her stuff. And just the whole thing about, there's people throwing cans at him, there's protests being had about there's protests about him, and how Superman should act and his decisions and where he should act, when, all of that. That was really what the conflict Superman was having in BVS. And there were so many complaints about it. There's a lot of complaints about it. And Superman, Clark, kind of having this internal conflict about, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how, this is what I am, this is who I am, what am I supposed to do? I'm just trying to do, like, the right thing. I'm trying to help people, save people. And we, he had conversations with his parents about it. Well, his mom, his dad wasn't alive anymore, but in this trailer we see him having, discussions with his parents about it, his dad, similarities as far as that plot and storyline. And I think that's a huge point of discussion with this trailer right now. And obviously there has to be obviously a lot of other stuff going on with the story that we can't quite get from the trailer, but there are a lot of hero characters in this movie, and also, whoever if it's Ultraman the villain, or what other villain there may be in that metal, suit character. Obviously, we're not going to know every single thing about the story, but it's interesting that there were people saying, certain people that share information, not necessarily leaks, but information that they've been kin to about the story, and leaks that came out, such as this conflict of war or whatnot in the Middle East and Superman getting involved, and then other hero characters not agreeing with it and whatnot. It kind of seemed like James Gunn shot those things down. It kind of seems like that's what's happening. I don't know if that's exactly what's happening, but there definitely is war and conflict going on in what looks to be that part of the world. And then Superman, like, defending himself for getting involved in that. And then a lot of similarities as far as themes and things like that. From what we can see in this trailer, that's mainly what a lot of the trailer is about. And also the point about how much destruction there was in, like, Man of Steel, and when him and Zod are fighting, and then kind of, bleeds into the beginning of BVS when Bruce Wayne is introduced and he was there in Metropolis and all of that, and that destruction's continuing from his point of view. Just from what we see in this trailer, that kind of destruction is happening as well in this movie. And then we have this shot of, like, a influencer, whoever, this day and age person, taking pictures and selfies with all the destruction going on around her, which I think that little shot alone is causing a lot of discussion too. I mean, I guess you could say on one hand it's something that probably people would do in this day and age, but it's just so many things that were complained about before are also seemingly going to be in this movie. And it's just, I don't know. Yes, it's a comic book character and there is lore and all of this stuff. Like, there's always going to be similarities that we see across movies and TV shows, series, animated versions, and live action alike that are very similar or take inspiration from or give homage to. But these seem to be kind of like significant story and plot points. I think there's a lot of characters, which we've known about for a while, but there's a lot of characters. I don't know if that's necessary for just a Superman movie. I mean, that was also a complaint with BVS, and there weren't that many characters. First of all, there were 3 hero characters. The Trinity. And Diana wasn't even in... she was actually Wonder Woman at the end of the movie. It was a way to introduce her. We see a little bit of her sprinkled throughout, but she was actually, she came in to kick ass at the end, right? And Lex unleashed Doomsday at the end. That's not complicated, like people have said before. It was his contingency plan in case Batman did not kill Superman, right? And it seems to be there's some kind of huge monster character in this movie too. He was like breathing fire. I don't really know what kind of thing he was in the city. I don't doubt Lex has some kind of plan like that in this movie as well. I don't really know what his involvement is in the overall story in this movie just yet, but I mean, it's pretty interesting to see these kind of things happening. Those are just what we can gather from this trailer, like I've said before, like I keep saying, but those are pretty significant things that you can, put together from the trailer, which it's supposed to give you an idea of what the story is. So makes sense. Cinematography, all that kind of stuff. It's very, so many people are comparing it to The Flash because it's the same cinematographer. So, that was a huge bone of contention with the Flash movie, aesthetically, visually, and I do see it. I see it in this movie. It's a lot of the pictures and, like if you screen grabs from the trailer that we see floating around, they're just not, and not even just visual effects, but just visually in general, like aesthetically, it's hard. It doesn't get me, Look, every time I share something on Twitter about this movie, there's people that are, well, you're supposed to be a DC fan and everything you say is negative and hateful and blah, blah. I'm not being hateful in the movie. I don't doubt that there will be some cool things to enjoy about this film. I think that's definitely going to be, that's a fact. There will be some cool things to enjoy about the movie. I don't doubt that. But someone did actually tell me that I should be supporting everything that they do. Why? That makes zero sense to me. Who supports every single thing that any franchise or movie studio or musician or artist or performer does just because, hello, look what happened to Marvel. And they had to, just blindly no. If the whole point of trailers and pictures and movie set pictures and promotion is to pique your interest. If it doesn't do that for me, it doesn't do that for me. If the trailers don't capture me in that way, then they don't. Just because it's a certain franchise doesn't mean it's going to evoke that reaction from me. No matter, how does that, why would that only, that doesn't apply, that argument doesn't apply to anything. Whether it be any of the arts or, music, movies, food, clothing, anything. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, and I'm not discouraging people from looking forward to it or from watching it. That is totally 100% everyone's personal decision. It is totally okay to be hyped and excited about this movie, even if you love Man of Steel and BVS and it's totally fine. I'm not discouraging people from watching it or from, being excited about it, because everyone's going to be enticed by something and have their own, interest in whatever. So, to me, it's just there's going to be cool things to enjoy about it. No doubt. But am I super, super hyped and oh my God, my hype level's up here? No. That's just not how I'm reacting to what I'm seeing so far. And that is okay too. People just get super triggered by the fact that not everyone is reacting that way to this movie just because it's DC or Superman. But that's how I'm feeling about it so far. Those are my thoughts. I'm not super here or there about it. I'm not oh my God, I freaking hate this. And I'm not oh my God, I freaking love this either. It's kind of just, okay. That's what it does for me, personally. And people need to just get over the fact that I'm not super 100% gung-ho about it just because it's DC or Superman. Like I said, I expect promotion and marketing to start ramping up as we get closer to the release of the film. I think anything that comes out is going to just be a lot of everything's going to be a hot topic of discussion, whether it's a picture, teaser, trailer, whatever. It's going to be a big discussion. So that's just how it's going to be. But let me know your guys' thoughts, and yeah, thank you guys again for checking out my video. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and check out the short section if you're interested. See you guys next time.